Apex just nuked their own business model to kill the whole reset mill. So if you've been loading up on evaluations and waiting for the right opportunity to smash your pass, that era is officially over. The new rules just turned every evaluation into a 30-day challenge with a hard drop dead date. And I've analyzed the new contract caps, the end-of-day drawdown, the soft breach daily loss limit, and honestly, this is the best move they've ever made for serious traders. But it's going to be a little tough on the gamblers, which I think is the whole point. So let's take a look at it. By the end of the spiel, you should understand the difference between the new intraday and end-of-day accounts, the new contract limits, and the new clear path to a real live brokerage-filled account. So no fluff, no hype, just how we're going to get paid, because I did the homework for both of us. I'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, even if these changes are generally good. So let's be real. Apex was becoming the firm that the community loved to hate because of all of the fine prints and gray area, but that ended last night. Intraday trailing drawdown is now totally optional. The MAE rule, gone. No more being penalized because a trade went against you before hitting your target. The 5-to-1 risk to reward rule, gone. Apex is finally letting you manage your own risk. So if you want to scalp, scalp. The payout reviews are now automated on your dashboard. So if the box is green, you can get paid. There's no more weeks of waiting and wondering, maybe, am I going to get that? They've cleared the deck of all of the gotcha rules to focus on what actually matters, which is your P&L and your trades. So that gray area, the gray area is gone. You now have two distinct paths. So choosing the wrong one can kill your progress. Let's take a look at the two differences here. They have the intraday path, which still uses a trailing drawdown. So it's cheaper. You get a deal for dealing with that, but that's going to track your peak profit live during the trade with your unrealized gains. So it's more high stress, and it's something we've ragged on for years. And frankly, it's unnecessary now because we have the end of day path, which is what we've all been asking for. So your drawdown only updates at the end of the day. So if you're up $2,000 in a trade and the market retraces to $500 before you get that closed, your drawdown doesn't move by that extra $1,500 of unrealized profits that you didn't take. So this allows your trade to actually breathe a little bit more. But there is a bit of a catch because there is a drop dead date on these accounts. They are 30-day evaluations. There's no more monthly rebilling. So you have 30 days to hit your target or the account is dead and deleted. There's no resets. This forces you to, be a closer, not a lingerer. So let me say that again louder for those in the back. Apex has no more resets or rebilling. If you've ever lost an account for trailing drawdown while you're actually in profit on the account, drop a never again in the comments. We can relate with you. Personally, I'll be taking the new end of day trailing account. So if you're joining me, use code 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It supports the ranch and it'll make sure that you're getting the very best discount available while we test these new waters. So now let's talk about the new clear path to live graduation. This is really exciting because there's now a very clear path. So when you start an evaluation, you're in a sim account. You're just taking a test. You don't get to take any payouts of it. You pass the challenge, you get put into a PA account. That is a sim live. It's still a sim account. They'll give you payouts out of it, but those orders aren't actually in the real market until you get into a live funded account. In the past, this has been really not clear when this happens. So first there's a consistency rule, and they had this before. It was 30% before. Now there's a 50% consistency rule, which means that no single day of trading can be more than 50% of your total profits for the account. And that's kind of fair. They want to see a strategy, not a lucky lotto ticket. So it used to be 30%. That's an improvement. But the big new thing is there's now a 6 payout cap. So after you take 6 payouts from your performance account, your PA account, you graduate and you move to a live account. That's a clear path to live, and it's something that we've never seen before with Apex. There is one catch. Once you pass your evaluation, you have 7 days to activate that account. Basically, they're not letting you hoard past accounts for later. If you don't use them, you'll lose them. Apex wants some active traders and not just account collectors. All right, let's talk about the ugly. They got rid of that trailing drawdown if you want, but they replaced it with a hard daily loss limit, the DLL. So if you take a look at the level 1 on a 100K account, your DLL is $1,750. This is an equity touch rule. So if your open trade, even if you haven't closed it, dips $1,750 into the red, you're liquidated for the day. The good news is this is just a soft breach, so you aren't blown. You just have to stop trading for the day and you can come back and trade tomorrow. But for some NASDAQ traders, this might be a kind of tight leash. One volatile spike could sideline you right before the real move actually happens. But it forces you to trade smaller or better, or both of them, right? There's no more holding and hoping through deep drawdown. And from Apex's perspective, that kind of makes sense, don't you think? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the contract sizes. If you're used to the old 50K accounts where they just handed you 10 minis like candy, that's gone. A 50K account starts you out with 4 minis or 40 micros. Why? Because Apex is done being the reset factory. They want to see you actually trade and not just gamble your way to a payout. But don't panic because this is a scaling plan. So as your balance grows, your limit grows. To unlock the full size, you just have to be a pro trader and not be a lucky gambler. Apex just pivoted from a reset mill to a legitimate prop firm. They've cut contract sizes and enforced a 30-day window because they want to find the actual top 1% of traders who can actually trade consistently, which we all know is a lot harder than it looks. If you want to see exactly how I'm adjusting to the new rules, come join us in the ranch. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. Are you going to be a gambler complaining about the limits or a pro trader using the end of day trailing drawdown to finally get paid? If you want to see how I'm adjusting my strategy to stay within these limits, come join us in the ranch after you watch these videos here, and I will see you real soon. Love you. Bye.